What is a Diddy freak-off? A breakdown of the shockingly lurid sexual assaults that involve drugs, sex, and baby oil. New York, September 28. Sean Diddy Combs was arrested in Manhattan, New York on September 16 after being indicted by a grand jury, charged with racketeering and sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. A 14-page federal indictment accused the rapper of organizing events known as freak-offs. The indictment accuses Combs and others of using his power and prestige to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims under the pretense of a romantic relationship. With the assistance of members and associates, it claims Combs transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally, and then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs, reported Unilad. Prosecutors have now detailed what the freak-offs allegedly orchestrated by Diddy. Freak-offs. So what were the freak-offs? According to the indictments, a freak-off saw Combs arrange, direct elaborate and produce sex performances, which he masturbated during but also often electronically recorded. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. A wild variety of controlled substances was distributed by Combs to victims during these freak-offs, partly to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Victims were subjected to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse by Combs to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs for him to maintain control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. Videos filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers were kept by Combs, sometimes without the parties aware they were being filmed. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs was also said to have hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair, with the assaults often resulting in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. The disgraced celebrity threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak-offs, with victims believing they could not refuse Combs' demands without risking their financial or job security, or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. For fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use, after the freak-offs was administered to Combs and his victims. Allegations of a cover-up. The indictment alleges high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, as well as others Combs' business employees helped organize the events, whether it be booking hotel rooms, ordering supplies such as baby oil, or cleaning up after. In March earlier this year, when Combs' residences were raided, more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant were recovered. The document also stated Combs used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims.